It's okay when you're making out, kissing a girl, and she's in bed or on the couch with you, and that guy down there is just not going up. There was a point in my journey where I thought I would never be able to overcome it, and it was like crippling. Because essentially what happened was, one night, it was like I was still actually with my girlfriend, but we broke up at the time, and we went on like a break, and we were like on and off for a while in like 2014. And during one of these breaks, I was out at a house party. There was a girl that was at the party. We had a bunch of mutual friends. She was like a really sexually promiscuous girl that several other people I knew with had already been with her too. So we started making out at the party. We're sitting on the couch. She's making out with me, and my D is going up. I remember she's like touching me down there. We're kissing. And at some point she's like, oh, you want to get out of here? And I was like, yeah, sure. I say goodbye to everybody. She gets in the car. I'm going home. I'm super happy and excited because like I finally just broke up and like I'm ready to like do this. We get home. We start kissing. She's in my bed. And I'm noticing that like my guy is just fucking super gummy worm. I hadn't studied anything about male-female dynamics. I knew nothing about pickup or seduction or game. So the moment it's not going on down there, I start really getting in my head. I start getting extremely nervous and I start fucking panicking. And I'm just getting like apologetic, and this girl's laying in my bed. It was like literally worst case scenario. Like the girl's literally tearing up, just sitting there looking at me. The vibe's so awkward that at this point she's like, can you take me home? And I was like, okay, yeah, like that's fine. I felt like less than a man, obviously, at that point. I then got back in the car with her, drove her back to the party. Not even that much time had passed at this point. So I just dropped her back off at the party. I was too embarrassed to even go back into the party at this point. And now I'm just super in my head because I'm like, her friends are there. We already said that we were leaving to go back to my place. I'm dropping her off. I'm not even going back to the party. I'm sure she's gonna fucking tell everybody. So it was like literally worst case scenario. That thought just stayed with me. Like anytime I was getting into an interaction after that, anytime it was somewhat on, or I knew that there was even gonna be a chance of like possible happening with a girl, I just started having these negative thoughts like going into my head more and more and more and more about like, you're not gonna be able to do it, you're not gonna get hard, you're gonna disappoint the girl, blah, 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 blah. And it really crippled me for a long time, to the point where I definitely lost a lot of women from not even going for it, because like I stopped myself and the girl was either like too attractive, or I was just like so in my head that I deliberately would not go for it. And that just, you know, resulted in me not getting the girl because of lack of confidence, lack of leading, lack of pushing for the. So I lost a lot of women, and then eventually I started looking into this stuff, and I thought, hey, maybe it was because I was watching that I just had this like disconnect or this like ED. So I stopped watching. I got on NoFap. I started taking more supplements. Like I needed to increase my zinc intake, my vitamin D. I started looking up like maca root powder and all this stuff. And the reality was I still had blood flow down there from time to time. Like I would wake up in the morning, I would have it, which indicated to me that like my D is obviously working to some extent. This is definitely just performance anxiety driven, which is like the big problem that I felt like crippled me for a long time. If that's you, or if you guys are experiencing this to some extent, maybe you guys are just scared to even bring a girl home because you don't know what to do, or you've never been through the experience of doing it, or just not enough. You haven't had a good experience of having it. This is how I overcame it. I became aware of the problem. I was proactively trying to fix the problem with like external things of going on NoFap and supplementation. But the other thing was like, I just kept seeking putting myself into the experience. Like once I became aware of the problem, I said, you know what, fuck it, like enough's enough. Like I'm just gonna start bringing girls into the bedroom, and whatever happens, happens. It needs to be this way, because like the other options of just not doing it isn't gonna work. The only way you're actually gonna overcome the fear is just facing the fear head on, and that's exactly what happened. And I could tell you, I let several women down through my process of trying to face the fear, because eventually I brought a couple girls home, and I wasn't as bad with the experience, but it was still a very uncomfortable experience. Like it really is, as a man, being home with a girl, especially if you run a good pickup and the girl's got a high level of attraction and you're like acting confident and you do all these things, you get the girl home and it's like you can't even like get it up. You're just straight gummy worm on it. I guess with each time I would bring a girl home though and put myself in a situation, I would slowly see an improvement. It wasn't like the first time I went through it that I just like, oh, cool, done, awesome, we beat this thing. The first time I like straight up just disappointed the next like girl or two. And then at some point there was a girl that came home where it didn't happen that night, but I didn't freak out about the whole thing. I just stayed calm, just told her straight up, like honestly, I'm just like a little nervous. I haven't been with the girl in a little while. And I also just like really like you. I feel like we really connected. So I'm just genuinely nervous. I said it in like a confident, relaxed way. The girl understood. She didn't start crying. And we kept vibing, we kissed a little bit more, and then we actually fell asleep. I'll get back to the video in 1 second, guys, but really quickly, if you're interested in working with me personally, if you wanna implement the concepts taught in this video into your own life to actually get you a real result, click the link in the description, fill out the application down there. You can book out a free consultation call so we can discuss further details. With that being said, let's get back to the video. And I woke up in the morning with my wood pressed up against her. Like I remember waking up in the morning with my wood pressed up against her, because we were like cuddling through the night. But here's what happened. The moment I woke up and I realized that, I was like excited, but it also still wasn't fully there, so it started to go away. And then we started making out, we started hooking up a little bit. And dude, over the process of like 30 to 60 minutes of trying a little bit, it not happening, cooling out, making out, trying a little bit, it not happening, cooling out, trying a little bit, the girl going down, trying to please me. I got to a point eventually the next morning where I was like semi-hard. We did it a little bit with like a half wood, and I busted like within probably a minute. It was extremely underwhelming, right? And then we hung out a little bit. I drove her home. I was still a little embarrassed, but you know, I said goodbye. And then once she left, I was so happy, dude. Not because I finally got it in, it was because like I faced the fear and kind of went through the motions anyway, and I noticed some improvement. And after doing that several times, I was able to finally get to a point where it wasn't really a problem anymore. And then especially if I had already been with the girl one time, like it got to a point where the first time it would kind of be like semi, but once I like got through that, we would chill, and then round 2, way better, and then round 3 and beyond was like normal functioning. And through that process of going through the nervous situation, facing the fear, realizing it's not a big deal if nothing happens. What also happened was like there was a couple times where I ended up just satisfying the girl, even me not getting hard. I learned that she's not gonna freak out, it's not a big deal, and even if nothing happens, I could still give the girl an awesome experience through practicing this stuff. That's what got me to a point where I realized like either way, it's actually not a big deal. And once it's genuinely not a big deal to you guys, that's when you can actually become relaxed. And when you can finally sit there in those moments where it means nothing and you're actually relaxed because you've been in the situation, you're competent enough now, that's when it'll actually start working. And that's when you could start to successfully go through the experience. And as you go through those successes, now you can start to build up confidence due to your competence. And as that continued to grow and grow and grow, so did the guy down there continue to grow and grow and grow, okay? And that's how I was able to overcome that anxiety. If you would have asked me in that time, I was almost convinced due to my negative limiting beliefs that I would never overcome this. I thought I was gonna need to have like Viagra, and like, I didn't know what the fuck was to come. I thought it was like a induced thing, but it was really just anxiety from not knowing what to do and not having been in the situation enough times. So by going through it and having the successes and having the competence and awareness through it over time, that will lead to more confidence, more relaxation, which as a result leads to more arousal. Okay, and that's how I was able to get through it. Honestly, like to fully go through it probably took me about a year. And then I would even say for the year or so after that, anytime I was getting with the newest, hottest girl that I had ever been with, there was still some of that anxiety that would kick in, right? And over time, I just kind of like built that up as well as I got desensitized to getting with a hotter and hotter and hotter girl. My recommendation to you guys as well is like, bring some awareness to it. If you notice that this is something you guys genuinely struggle with, first off, realize it's totally okay. If it's happening to you with a girl, do not start apologizing. Do not start getting like weak and like, I'm so sorry, like you're so beautiful, it's not you, it's me, blah, 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 blah. And then I started like panicking and like going off. It's not gonna help anything. What you need to do is just focus on your breath, breathe from your diaphragm, nice and slow, be super calm and relaxed externally. Even if inside you're a little nervous, you can even tell the girl at some point, it's okay to let the girl know, honestly, I'm just a little nervous because I haven't done this in a while, because I actually enjoy spending time with you, or because I'm actually genuinely attracted to you. And you know, it's okay to tell the girl that, and you guys just chill out for a minute or two and keep kissing, and over time you'll most likely calm down to the point where you could actually make something happen. So the biggest piece of advice is do not eject from the situation. If that's happening, stay in that moment as long as possible. because you need to spend time in that moment. That's the only way you're actually gonna overcome it, is to sit in that moment so much that it no longer becomes a big deal and you can just chill there. If you guys watch this video and this happens to you, you could fix it that night. If you just stay calm, chill, talk the girl through what's happening, you guys relax, maybe later on you start making out and hooking up, and then over time, either that first time, or you could try again, or you could sleep over and then try again in the morning. Eventually you will make it happen, and that's how you're gonna beat this thing, okay? Because it's a very frustrating, crippling thing if you're going through that. It was for me as well, so I hope this helps you guys, honestly. I hope you guys learned a lot from this video. For anybody that's interested in working with me personally to implement these concepts into your own life, I've put together a new coaching program where you could actually work with me directly, one-on-one. We have live calls. I'm gonna show you the entire structure of how you should be running your dates and your interactions. We'll hold you accountable on it. We'll set weekly goals for you and actually push you through that process to go from where you're at right now to achieve your dream dating life. I've already helped hundreds, if not thousands of guys already make this transformation, so there's no reason I can't do the same thing for you as well. So all you have to do is click the link in the description. That's gonna bring up the application where you just answer a couple quick questions, and then you can book out a day and a time to actually sit down with us on a free consultation call so we can discuss more details about what that would look like, okay? The link is in the description. Click that link, man. Honestly, click that link. Watching videos is only gonna get you so far without implementation and execution, and that's why I've put together this program. So click that link below, fill out that application, book out that free call. I look forward to seeing you on that consultation call. Peace out.